Hey guys, and welcome to episode 114 of the Up Real Late podcast. My name is Scott Ellis. I'm joined here by Tim McGavick.
Huh.
There's no one over there, okay?
There's no one there?
Just relax.
Couldn't make it.
Couldn't make it.
Also joining us is Tyler Switolski. Glad to have you. Look at that winning smile.
That's it.
And that's everyone
That's
today.
That's it.
That's why mothers lock away their children because of that smile.
That's all we need today.
That's all we need today.
That's it.
Let's run down some of the topics we're going to discuss on this week's episode. As usual, we're going to discuss the last film we watched this week, as well as a few news topics. We got a bunch of trailers, including Red Sparrow, All the Money in the World. We got Tomb Raider, starring Alicia Vikander. We got Isle of Dogs, and we got some Linda Hamilton Terminator news.
Ooh.
Something's happening there. James Cameron. We're going to get to that later. You guys do want to skip ahead to any of those topics, you can go in the description box below on YouTube, click on the timestamps. You can skip ahead to those topics I just mentioned. As well, don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment below in the comment section if you want to join our discussion. And, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do appreciate the support there. And with that out of the way, guys, Tim,
Yeah.
what do you got for us this week?
Scott, you lent me a movie 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I did.
Finally watched it.
All right.
1981, Blowout.
Blowout.
Written and directed by one Brian De Palma.
Brian De Palma. Oh, boy.
Starring John Travolta, Nancy Allen, and John Lithgow.
Yes.
A young John Lithgow.
A young and
He
limber.
had brown hair. It was very weird.
He had hair in general.
He also had hair. Yeah.
What year was this?
1981.
81.
Yeah.
An 81 John Lithgow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Were you here for Scott last seeing this? I don't think you were. I
What was
think
the
you
name
missed
of
that
it,
one. Blowout.
No, I
don't
was
think
not
you were
here
here.
Ah.
Buckle in.
I gave it a heavy 4.
Did
a
you?
sound designer and mixer for B horror movies
Okay.
records the audio of a car crash that kills a governor. This leads him down a path of conspiracy and danger when he thinks that the crash was actually a murder.
Oh.
Wasn't an accident. Or so he thinks.
So he thinks.
What'd you think of it, Tim?
This is a great movie.
Right?
A great movie.
Yeah, it kept me guessing. Like, I wasn't really sure where the plot was
Yeah.
really heading for most of it. Performances were great. Apparently, this was shot in sequence. No, it wasn't. Sorry,
Oh.
I was thinking of something else. John Travolta says he had insomnia while filming this,
Okay.
and
Looks like it.
you kind of see that because as the movie progresses, he looks very worn out and tired.
He looks haggard.
He looks haggard because he's just like so
Jeez.
bogged down with like trying to prove. He's like obsessed. Essentially, he hears like he hears a blowout of a tire blowing out
Yeah.
on his recording.
Oh,
but
no, I was here for this. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But he's
Okay.
a sound guy, and he's convinced that there was like a shot just before that,
Yeah.
like a
Gunshot.
gunshot that shoots the tire out and crashes the car. So yeah, the sound design in this movie is really good to begin with. 'Cause
Right.
obviously, I think you have to be if you're doing a movie about sound
A
design.
sound
You
guy,
gotta
you
make
have-
sure your sound
yeah.
design is on point, and it is. It sounds really, really good.
Like, I don't think there was a score. Like, it was just like all Foley sounds?
Mostly Foley sounds, a little bit of score, but not very much.
Yeah.
Really interesting camera techniques in this. I had to look it up. I forgot the name of what it's called, but I've seen it before in other movies, but it happens a lot in this movie
Like
where
side-by-side stuff and...
they have essentially what they do is they have one lens and they have another lens right next to it,
Mm-hmm.
and it creates the illusion that the foreground and background are on the same plane. So you get both things, like background's usually a little bit blurry and the main focus. Both things are in
Everything's
like
in focus.
super sharp focus. So it looks
Interesting.
very interesting. They do it a couple times.
Cool effects. Cool
And
camera
then-
work.
Very cool camera work. There's a lot of scenes of like him recreating like a scene with audio. So like there's a flashback to him like listening to the recording again, and as he's listening, you see it from like his perspective. So like early in the movie, you saw him like recording the sound. You heard like a frog or like an owl, and then when he listens back to it, you see like his point of view of like the frog and then the owl, and then he's piecing like this whole thing together to figure out like what sequences of things happened.
Interesting.
Just cool effects.
Yeah, and then there's like a espionage kind of political
Bent
thing
to it.
going on.
Okay, so
Underneath the whole thing.
What'd you think of the opening like sequence? I thought that was really good. Just the
The opening
point of view
sequence
of,
is
like,
them.
this killer
Yeah, so the opening sequence
in the movie.
is a horror movie, and it's like almost like a single shot.
I think it is.
Um,
It cuts a few times.
And then you find out that's them watching a movie, and You're right. That the girl's scream is
Scream.
terrible. It's so funny.
Not a good scream, or is it just like
Just the worst scream.
It's just
you
the
can
worst
imagine.
scream, and like a point of contention in the movie is he's supposed to like go out and record like a really
Sounds.
good sounding scream for this movie because the actress who was in the movie doing the scream was terrible,
Was
and he
not
was supposed
doing
to
it?
like replace
Yeah.
it with something.
Yeah, so he has to replace the scream. So good.
Yeah, I really liked it. The ending was dark. Apparently, this movie did pretty well critically, but like a lot of people were like
Bleak.
put off by the ending. I
That
liked
fireworks shot.
fireworks shot again. They did the
Fire.
same like
effect?
effect, so it's like a swoop around of Travolta's face, and it's like fireworks going off, but it's all in focus.
That's cool.
It looks like green screen, but it's not. I guess there might be some sort of trickery there. But
Yeah, it's technically not green screen, but they've
it's really cool.
kind
But you like that?
layered it.
I like.
I like the ending too. Yeah, it was bleak. It fit the movie.
Yeah.
It's not a happy ending.
Came full circle for him.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 4.
Okay.
There was a bit of cat and mouse that I didn't overly love
Okay.
towards the end.
Is there a villain in the case? Can you say that? Is there a
Yes,
villain
there's a
in
villain.
this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not just him like uncovering like
No.
something. Okay.
No. There's
Okay.
a villain in it. He does uncover something.
Yeah.
Something is uncovered. What that is?
Something is
remain
uncovered.
To be seen.
And
Things-
performances are great as well from all
Yeah.
3, I thought.
Yeah.
Travolta especially was very, very good.
All
I liked
right.
him quite a bit. Thank you.
I think it is one of his best performances. for
I would
sure.
say so, yeah.
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 So 4 out of 5 from Tim
Yeah.
for Blowout. Tyler, what do you got for us this week, bud?
Okay. What do I got for you? Have something for you?
Always a mystery.
Always a mystery. Okay.
I gave you something else this week. Did you watch that?
You did? What'd you give me this week? No, I didn't.
You
I didn't. I did not. I didn't have time.
You
so
bastard.
that's next week.
All right. What
Yeah.
would you want? What else did you watch this week?
After kidnapping the daughter of a couple, a man forces the two to comply with a series of daunting tasks. This description is not the best. It's better than the one that they had on IMDb. I'll read that one if you want. Not good.
Okay.
A family dynamic is ruined by a man with another plan. That's the other one. So
That's
IMDb.
awful.
These are terrible.
Literally
I
awful.
have no idea what movie this is.
2007's Shattered. It's also going to be another name, Butterfly on a Wheel. I'm not sure what that's coming from.
What the fuck?
Shattered. I'll read this cast list here.
Did you watch this at 3 a.m.?
It seems like a 3 a.m.
Like,
deep dive
what?
Netflix find.
What is this?
I have
movie?
this on DVD.
Shattered.
It's on my shelf, hidden. Hold on. Maria Bello, Gerard Butler, and Pierce Brosnan.
Okay.
Have you seen this, Scott?
No, I know of it now.
Okay.
Pierce Brosnan's the bad guy, I think, right?
Yes.
Okay, vaguely remember a trailer for this.
Yes.
Oh.
I actually own
You're
this and hadn't
despicable.
seen it. So I decided to pop it in.
Mm-hmm.
Gerard Butler, Pierce Brosnan, how bad could it be?
Could be pretty bad.
It actually
really
wasn't
bad.
terrible. It was there's a lot of twists to this movie, and I think that's what really kept it going for me. But other than that, like no fancy camera work, there wasn't. It was very
No frills.
no frills. Well, really, like a movie like this, like you need frills with a movie like this, and there wasn't many, if
glass
any
of
at
water.
all.
Got it done.
Yeah, it gives you what you need,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much it.
Oof.
Yeah, so
Yikes.
there are a lot of twists and turns to this movie, which is really what held the interest for me. I can say this without spoilers. I believe that
It's okay.
there is. You guys are okay. That's fine.
Fine.
I'm
It's
glad
cool.
Franny isn't here for this.
Who?
No, fucking fuckface at the end of the table.
Mm.
No one's there, man.
Yeah.
Gerard, this happens when you're not here, by the way.
Oh, good. This is it. I've been gone. I leave so many times.
We
This is what
should talk
happens.
you.
This is so nice. That's love. Gerard Butler is cheating on his wife in this. You learn that pretty early on, and so he's kind of like blackmailing. Like Pierce Brosnan plays the villain in this. He is blackmailing Gerard Butler to do everything that he says, but he's also forcing them both to do it because he also has kidnapped their daughter. But he's kind of like he's got something else on Gerard as well.
Mm.
So it's kind of
Okay.
like there's multiple layers, and then there's a twist to it, like a pretty big twist.
Of course.
And then there's a huge twist at the end, which like at the very very end, which I did not expect at all.
I'm going to Wikipedia this later.
It
For
was,
sure.
Yeah,
it was all a dream.
I can do it. No, it wasn't that bad. But it was it really caught me off guard. I was very surprised that they did this. Like, just how many layers there were to this. Other than that, not great. Don't if you're drunk and it's like 2:00 in the morning, you just got home from the bar or something like that, and you're like, I want something that'll blow my mind, but also not be visually entertaining. Throw on 2007's Shatter or Butterfly on a Wheel. I'm still confused by that.
That's a weird name.
Yeah, I'm not. There was no wheels or butterflies in this, so I'm confused.
Obviously a metaphor, some saying.
Possibly, or it's based off something. Maybe, no idea.
What are you hitting it with?
I'm gonna hit this with
the old glass of water.
The old glass of water. I'm
no
teetering,
frills.
of course, between a 3 and a heavy 3.
Wow.
I'm leaning towards
heavy.
a 3 though.
Okay.
But just because of how much the ending impacted, like everything, it was just like, wow, that was.
It was just a wow movie.
Wow. It was just really cool.
All right.
But yeah, I'll go with that. It'll be a 3. It's a solid 3.
I just want to bring up one thing.
Yeah.
Just a little funny thing I just noticed. Just about John Travolta.
Mm-hmm.
The shirt I'm wearing.
Oh, yes.
It's John Travolta's
He's the
shirt.
one that wears in Pulp Fiction.
Shirt from
Which he
Pulp
got
Fiction.
the role because he was in Blowout.
Oh,
There
really?
you go.
Interesting.
Nice little tie-in right there.
There you go.
I'm going to jump in with my last scene, though. I watched another flick from Brian De Palma, which I have right here.
Another one.
And I wanted to read the synopsis because it's better than the one I could find online.
Dressed to Kill.
Dressed to Kill. Let me find it here. Dressed to Kill revolves around the grisly murder of a woman in Manhattan and how her psychiatrist, her brainiac teenage son, and the prostitute who witnessed the crime try to piece together what happened while the killer remains at large. This came out a year before.
Taking notes.
Go ahead.
This reminds me of that movie.
I'm in. It's a great plot.
Bear with me here. It was The Single Mom. It came out, I think, last year. Came out with The Single Mom, young boy, genius young boy, and
The Book of Henry.
yeah.
No, Henry.
Henry.
I wanted to
Something
say
like
Eli.
No, it's not the Book of Eli.
Book of Henry.
Similar.
I'm going to say no.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say a hard no.
But listen to the descriptions, though. Give me that. Witness a murder.
It's a murder mystery. It's funny, coming after Blowout. Like
This is a year after Blowout?
this year before Blowout.
Okay.
So it's just funny that I watched them in that order.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good, nice. Just like Blowout.
Yeah.
It's in the same vein of like murder mystery, and I do think Blowout is a little bit better. But you can see the same sort of camera techniques used. Especially there's one shot when you mentioned the sort of background and foreground and focus.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that happens in this movie as well, and just the side by side shots. But this movie basically, Michael Caine is the psychiatrist.
I'm in.
Angie Dickinson is the woman who is murdered. Keith Gordon plays the son, and Nancy Allen, who's also in Blowout.
Yeah.
What else
Guess
has
what
she
she
done?
plays? She plays the prostitute again.
She's been typecast.
Yeah,
That's weird.
prostitute.
Sorry.
It's honestly it's pretty difficult to talk about this movie's plot without ruining things, but there's a really big twist in it that I was like, damn, I did not see that coming.
Sweet.
I knew it was going to be like
Something.
the identity of the killer, really.
Yeah.
Like finding that out, which is interesting enough. I find maybe I don't know. We don't see many of these movies in these days. Like
No.
pure
They've kind
murder
of
mysteries.
Falling off the bandwagon.
Well,
Off the
funny
wagon.
enough, we have Murder at the Orient Express coming in.
Yes.
I'm just plugging that as much as I can.
That might be the next one coming out as actually like a true like
That's like
murder
a period
mystery.
piece.
who done it.
Yeah.
It's also like
Like the
It's
ultimate
somewhat
murder
like
mystery
that.
kind of thing,
Yeah.
I think.
But
Also Johnny Depp.
interestingly enough, comparing Dress to Kill and Blowout,
Book of Henry.
it's both about people trying to find the identity of this killer, and no one's really like believing them.
Yeah.
Like Nancy Allen, she witnesses the murder, which happens in like an elevator, and she like sees the killer in the elevator, and there's like a mirror.
Yep.
And she's like around the corner, and the killer like drops this like she uses like a razor blade, like an old fashioned like razor blade as like the murder weapon, and she like catches it and she's like trying to call for help, and she like runs away and then no one like believes her.
So she's holding the knife. She's holding the
that's not a huge part of it.
Yeah, but that doesn't look good.
It just kind of starts with that, and it's her trying to prove that there was someone there, and the psychiatrist thinks that it could be potentially one of his other patients who the person who was murdered had just visited the psychiatrist. And and also the son is like this he's like literally building a computer for like a science fair. It's like elaborate. It's like its entire room.
Yeah, classic 1980s computer.
He, in a similar vein to Blowout, where John Travolta's using this sort of sound recording technology to sort of track and solve the problem. The kid uses his own sort of ingenuity and crafts. He like makes. He sort of films the certain spot, and he even has the same like earpiece thing that he's using to like listen and stuff like that, just like Blowout.
Is there any connection, like director?
Same director.
Same director. Okay.
Yeah, Brian De Palma 1 year later. Okay. After this movie does Blowout.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's a solid murder mystery. I would give it a 4 out of 5.
Sweet.
I thought it was pretty solid. I don't know. I just like these older like 80s murder mysteries. I think Brian De Palma is really the one that makes these. I mean, there's lots of murder mysteries out there.
Mission Impossible, the first Mission Impossible is essentially like a murder mystery.
Yeah.
Like, the team gets murdered and you gotta find out who did it.
Figure out, which is right up his alley. Yeah. He's proven his worth with these movies. Yeah. And, I just want to see more Brian De Palma. I have to look at his filmography, but I'm sure there's other good ones out there.
Yeah, he's a mystery to me for the most part. I've seen Scarface and Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
that's probably
and
about
Blowout.
Which one did he do? He did the first one?
He did first Mission Impossible. Did he do Donnie Brasco? I feel like he did. I don't know. Maybe.
We'll check the old IMDb. But let's move on.
Lots of news.
Definitely, yeah. Let's move on. Some trailers. Let's start with Red Sparrow. A little film starring Jennifer Lawrence, Joel Edgerton, directed by
Zach Hildrich.
Hildrich.
Or was that 1922?
That might be 1922.
That was 1922.
This is Francis Lawrence,
right?
Director of Hunger Games.
Yeah, Hunger Games.
Yeah,
right.
It's all starting to blend together.
Tim, what did you think of Red Sparrow? This is a teaser, I'd say.
Ooh,
Hard
very
teaser.
Much a teaser. She plays like a Russian spy, I guess,
versed in the ways of espionage,
but mainly focused on seducing people. I think is the main focus of this.
At least that program that they're referencing.
Yeah, the Sparrow program. It's interesting. I'm intrigued by this trailer. It looks pretty good.
Lots of quick cuts and little shots that
it looks
decipher what's going
visually.
on.
It looks pretty cool. Lots of interesting shots that we got. Besides that, I don't have a whole lot to say. You don't really get any performances from anybody really in this trailer. They're just a little bit of voice over. Nothing from Jennifer Lawrence besides just walking around.
Just her face.
But I think it's a cool setup.
Walking.
Yeah, I think it has potential. It's pretty hard to tell at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I just saw this just played in front of Kingsman, and I was just like, meh.
Yeah.
Like, it looks good.
The director is
just not.
He's not a great director, I'm gonna say, but the Hunger Games movies look really good.
They do, and this also looks quite good.
I kind of want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I haven't seen anything else he's done besides Hunger Games. I'm not really sure what else he has. But I feel like he might have been handcuffed a little bit with what he can and can't do with the Hunger Games movies.
Yeah, because those are studio movies. There's the limitation of what he can do.
There's only so much he can do in those, so I feel like we've seen visually what he can do, but I don't think we've actually seen like what he can do like with free reign on a movie. So I feel like I'm going to jump in if that's all right.
No, yeah. Man.
I think, Tim, you said before we started recording that this might look a little more intriguing to us or a little more fresh or new to us if we hadn't just seen Atomic Blonde coming out this year.
She does look a little bit like
in one of her outfits. She looks very much like
and like the whole like Russian spy
that adds to it.
Yeah, so I again, I'm intrigued by this. Again, haven't given us much to look at or to run with, but I'm definitely intrigued by this to see what they'll do with it. Visually, I'm in.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see and when the movie comes out.
Yeah.
Moving on, we got a movie which is this Ridley Scott?
This is Ridley Scott.
Ridley
Yes.
Scott.
Crazy.
Blowing Scott's mind.
All the Money in the World. The story of a kidnapping of, at the time, the world's richest man. Or grandson?
Grandson. Yes.
Grandson.
His grandson is kidnapped.
Starring Kevin Spacey, Mark Wahlberg, and Michelle... No.
Michelle Williams.
No!
Carey Mulligan.
Is it Carey
No, it's
Mulligan?
Michelle Williams.
It's Michelle Williams.
It's
Michelle Williams.
They're the same person.
Shit. Ty, what do you think of this trailer? A little thriller?
A little
Kidnapping
thriller. I'm intrigued by this. Again, is this a trailer or was this a teaser? It seems like it was a trailer.
This is
a
trailer.
pretty much
Trailer?
yeah.
Okay.
Full-fledged.
It looks weird. Like it looks like there's a lot of like sub points that are going on. Like a whole
True story.
A whole true story.
True story.
That's fucked up. If you've seen the trailer, you'll know why that's fucked up. There's, like, I feel like there's like a whole other like sweeping plot underneath of this that like they're not even like they haven't even touched on yet. Because like you don't see much of Kevin Spacey's character in the trailer. He's kind of like elusive, like at a window or a silhouette.
He's the Gary Oldman of this movie.
Yes, kind of just there.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like John Paul Getty is the name of the person he's portraying.
He looks like someone.
It's like I remember reading about the story of like learning about the actual incident that happened here, and I was like, this could be a movie. Like it's literally like made for Hollywood. He's like the richest man in the world, and the kidnappers want a ransom for his grandson, and he's like, nah,
Not paying it.
I ain't paying that. I don't need to pay. Yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued. I mean, it's Ridley Scott, so I'm a little iffy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Lately, he hasn't been really hitting it out the park.
No, he has not.
The last decade, but you know, he still has done some of my favorite movies of all time, so I'll still give him a shot.
Yeah.
You know,
Spacey looking a lot like Craig T. Nelson.
That's who it is. Thank
A
you.
lot like Craig T.
I was
Nelson.
thinking Robert Duvall, but Craig T. Nelson is.
I was also thinking like
For
at first it
sure.
was Nixon to me a little bit.
He looks a little bit like Nixon.
A little bit like Nixon. I'm like, no, there's something better than that. It was Craig T. Nelson.
he's just if you see a photo of the real John Paul Getty, it's like a cross between Kevin Spacey and John Paul Getty.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, the makeup's not great. It looks a little bit stiff in this area.
yeah. What did you think of this, Tim?
I'm intrigued. When I saw like just a brief thumbnail, and it's Mark Wahlberg, and I was like, oh, is this like a financial comedy type thing going on? Did not know anything about this movie.
Okay.
Very
and
much
then the trailer
not.
started playing. I'm like, this is a lot more somber than I was expecting it to be. And I was like, visually, this looks really familiar. And I'm like, oh, it's Ridley Scott, because the movies all kind of look very clean and sharp.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm intrigued. I don't know anything about the story. I have no idea. I guess I'm just...
Don't read about it. I feel like that might...
Yeah, I will not read about it. I will not read about it because I want to be...
It's real. It happened.
I want to be involved in the story. Yeah, it looks interesting. Don't love the casting of Kevin Spacey. Again, I think they could have just
Got Craig T. Nelson.
gone Craig T. Nelson,
Yeah.
Robert Duvall.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Somebody-
Like, in the
Gary
past,
Oldman.
it's like, I don't know, Hollywood's going through this weird thing right now where they feel like they need to transform actors,
Yeah.
like, prosthetically.
Yeah,
And,
doesn't look great still.
I mean, nobody knows that person,
No.
John Paul Getty,
No,
today.
yeah, it's fine.
Like, nobody will be like, oh, he doesn't look like him.
Yeah.
Like, just be Kevin Spacey and just act.
Yeah.
There were
Just
movies,
act,
like I liked
right?
back then where you could have like an actor who like was portraying someone that you knew, and it was like, okay, not like look at Ashton Kutcher when he did Steve Jobs. Not bad, but they didn't do much to him though. Fassbender, Will Fassbender. They didn't.
Yeah,
do
that's
much,
a better example.
They didn't do
'Cause-
much to him.
He looked like Fassbender, but he
The
had
mannerisms.
He was still Fassbender,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
Yeah, you can tell he's playing Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally fine. I also see the flip side with, say, Winston Churchill and Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Winston Churchill looks like he's very distinct.
Yeah.
So, like, I get that.
Yeah, there's no one acting in Hollywood that looks even remotely close
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
Churchill.
So, like, I see both sides.
You don't need to do this. This is an unnecessary transformation.
It's bizarre.
Yeah. We'll see.
Plus, like, the whole, like, reveal thing that they've done. This happened with the current War trailer, too, where they're trying to, like...
Oh, Tesla.
Like, yeah, like, surprise the audience at the end of the trailer, being like, also Tesla's in this movie. Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
As if it's, like, some sort of, like, oh my god.
It's like this
twist.
shit moment, but
like, oh, it's
Kevin
Spacey.
Oh, what? This... Yeah. What? I don't care.
It's kind of like everything's kind of undercut by the fact you're looking at Kevin Spacey right now.
Yeah.
Also, I'd really like, for some reason, I like Mark Wahlberg's character in this for some reason. It looks like he's not, like, he's kind of going, like, out of what he'd normally do.
He's not playing like a tough guy?
Yeah, he's not playing a tough guy. He's not playing a bodybuilder. He's not playing a robot fighting mechanic. He's like, he looks like he's doing, like, something, he's actually acting in this.
Yeah. It's good.
Going against the grain in this, I think, and I like that.
Well, we shall see when it comes out. I think, is it coming out this year?
I think so.
It's coming out in November or December?
So. It's a very late trailer.
There's a lot of movies coming out this year.
It'll be a busy winter for us.
Right after the festival season happens, we get bombarded with all these Oscar movies. Moving on, though, we got a little film, a little reboot, if you will, starring Alicia Vikander.
Oh.
Tomb Raider. The trailer is out. I'm going to start off. Now, I didn't play the rebooted game, but I saw it, and it looked pretty good.
Apparently it's great.
Yes. I noticed it's quite violent and realistic.
Yes.
This seems obviously adapting that.
Yes, seems like it.
And I think it looks promising. I'm intrigued by this. It's sort of at this point where it's like it could be the Assassin's Creed of this year or next year, whenever it's coming out. But right now, visually, it looks good. I think Alicia Vikander is perfectly cast, honestly.
Yeah.
Even though she's a pretty small person. But, yeah, I'm in. I think it looks good. I'm a little hesitant, though. Because, like, it does remind me of Assassin's Creed a little bit.
A little bit. A lot of jumping.
Yeah, just how, like, just visually looks great, but then will the story actually be any good?
Yeah.
But it does look like classic Tomb Raider. You know, she's going into tombs and raiding them.
What more could you ask?
What more could you ask for? What do you guys think?
I'll start off by saying I love the originals. Well, okay, I love the first
Nothing
one.
to do with the originals.
I know. I'm just saying, like, as far as rebooting goes, I love the first one. Second one because I'm there. Did not play the reboot. I played some of the original games, which I did like.
So you've the classics.
Yeah, Alicia Vikander looks great in this. I am seeing a lot of like slow-mo jumping and like it looks like a lot of like
where she like slow-mo slides and then like that spinny spike thing like
like it looks like there's a lot of like slow-mo stuff going on, which makes me scared because like they did a lot of that in Assassin's Creed. It's like,
right.
Like it's like too much. So I'm that's what makes me hesitant, but I think she looks amazing in this. I watched the behind the scenes thing, like it was after one of the trailers that I watched, and she was like, she's small in this, but she's like, it's all muscle. Like you saw her back workout, like you see like every muscle in her back is like perfectly defined. It's crazy.
It's a very physical role.
Yeah, so she went all out for this. I'm 100%. If that wasn't clear.
Oh, that's very
Is
clear.
that clear?
That's very
I'm 100% in.
Tim, what do you think?
I'm 50% in.
Oh!
I agree with Scott.
My God.
Hesitance.
I said I was hesitant.
It could be good, but it could be
Video
not.
game movies have a very bad track record.
Dude, the entire Resident Evil series.
Very bad track
Very
record.
bad.
This might be the one that breaks the trend, but
I don't even think of it as a video game movie. I don't know.
No,
I just
'cause
think of
it's
it as
just like
rebooting a movie series now. I don't
yeah,
know.
it's just like a female Indiana Jones, but a little bit more badass because I think she murders people.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he murders lots of Nazis.
He does murder a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks fine. Like, I think I've seen the trailer twice, and each time I was like, "This is fine."
This
is
it's not
fine.
really blowing me away,
Yeah.
but it could be decent.
Could be good. I like Walter Goggins a lot. Walton Goggins.
Walton Goggins.
Do we ever, has he done like leading stuff, or is he always like a side character?
He's just a side character.
So I'm kind of
Just perfect.
interested to
He's
see what he's
usually
gonna
the
do
like
with this.
Southern hick villain.
Yeah.
Yes, quite often.
Yeah.
quite often the redneck villain. Yeah, I'm up. We'll see.
It could literally go either way.
Yeah. For me, it's just going to be great.
It's going to be either bad or fine. It's going to be one of those two.
It's not going to be great
It's
for
not
you.
going to be great, no. There's no,
No,
way it's gonna be
no
great.
faith. No faith.
Sorry.
Moving on.
Sorry.
We got some news, some Terminator news this week that James Cameron dropped. That he will be producing the next Terminator film with Linda Hamilton returning as Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger is also going to return as the Terminator, I suppose.
Yep.
Probably. Most likely.
Terminator's twin brother.
Now, this film will be a direct sequel to T2.
Yes.
Cutting out the last one that just came out last year. Genesis. Terminator Genesis.
Terminator Salvation. Cut.
Salvation.
Terminator
Obviously
3,
cut.
obviously cut.
3 irrelevant. Ty, let's start with you. What do you think of this news? Are you looking forward to a new Terminator trilogy they announced as well?
Have you seen the first two?
I've seen the first two.
Okay.
I've seen the first 3.
Okay.
I didn't see Genesis or Salvation. I've been told they were not great. I heard Salvation was better than Genesis.
Did not see Genesis, so I'm assuming it's better.
Okay.
I personally like Salvation better, but they're both not great.
Okay, I've heard they're both not great, but I think I heard Salvation was better.
It's like super gritty.
I feel like they are beating this dead horse. Like, to me, it's done. Stop it. Also, he plans on doing like 3 more Avatar movies. So why is he?
He's just producing.
Why is he producing this though? Like, like we haven't heard. You announced that you're doing 3 more Avatar movies, and then you've done nothing with them after that. So like,
now let me preface this with that he wrote this with a writer's room, and one of the people in the writer's room, who I think has the potential to direct this, is Tim Miller.
Okay.
Who did the first Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
Right. Does that...
That does make me...
help?
That does make me...
Is that optimistic?
Optimistic for it. But I still think this is like a movie that doesn't need to be done. Like, it's...
That's fair. That's fair.
We had 1, 2, and 3, and 3 was kind of like, okay...
Most franchises die.
Yeah, we can stop here. And then they did 4 and 5, and it's like, no, let's keep going downhill.
Also, 4 and 5 were supposed to be like reboots, like the start of a new trilogy.
Yeah.
Both of them
They
went
were
down
both
flaming hard.
Yeah.
They were both meant to be the start of a new trilogy.
Like, stop to me. Like, I'm not, like, I don't want to see this.
So you're out.
I'm out.
Tim.
I'll obviously see it, but I'm protesting it.
Much like Tomb Raider. 50% in. I'll tell you why.
I love how decisive you are about your decisions. Thank you.
I do agree this movie does not need to be made.
Okay.
Right.
However, I am intrigued that it's a direct sequel to T2 because T2 is one of the best action movies
Of all time.
Arguably.
Arguably.
So it depends on how they go with it. I don't know. I'm just intrigued on what the storyline is going to be. If it's a direct sequel that takes place, I guess 25 years or 26 years later at this point.
Yeah.
So what's happened to these characters?
Well, Schwarzenegger's going to look different, right? That's going to be a huge part. You said
He
he was
will.
waiting for him to come back?
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to do with him? Like, he's not in...
Well, he was in Genesis.
He was in Genesis.
Yeah.
He's playing
As
a
Old Man
scientist, right?
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. Was he playing Old Man Terminator?
Yeah.
Okay. So he aged as a Terminator.
Yes.
Okay.
They explained that the skin on the Terminator can age.
Age, obviously, yeah, it makes sense. That's fine with me.
Oh, doesn't make sense.
Which I think they
but
could probably just do in this one. He's like, just an
He'd
age.
just be the same
It just kept aging.
person as in Genesis, basically. Yeah, for me, the thing that gets me is this James Cameron. Like, he just directs, like, massive hits.
Mhm.
So, his involvement is promising. And, I don't know. I just like that it's the core crew from
Yes.
T2 returning.
That's what I'm excited about.
And I do like the fact that Tim Miller is involved in some regard, be it just in the writer's room or helping write it, because it's it's a fresh perspective.
Yeah.
And I just hope it's not like like a Terminator situation, or sorry, Transformers situation where they get this massive writer's room and they figure it out and then it's still shit.
Just a shitstorm.
Because there's really nothing more to mine.
Have they announced the director yet?
No.
So there's potential then for Tim Miller.
There's potential. There's potential. They could go with any, director for hire.
Yeah.
Which I don't want them to do. I want them to get someone who's
got a vision.
But like James Cameron has a vision, you
Yeah.
know, and with these writers in the writers' room, like it doesn't seem like a situation where they're just gonna have a director come in and then rewrite the script.
No, yeah, well, yeah, that's true.
Like so, I don't know. I'm really on the fence on this one.
I want Cameron to not do the next few Pandora movies. Avatar.
Yeah.
Pandora's the land that they live in.
Yes.
I know that. I'd rather him not do those 3 and just direct this thing. Be okay with that.
That would be more exciting.
Yeah.
More exciting.
I'd be okay with that. Yeah.
Well, we shall see.
James,
Listen in, bud. We got some knowledge coming at you.
Moving on. We got a little animated film trailer. I see that lip quiver, Tim. Wes Anderson.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't have the cast list in front of me, but it's quite
massive.
extensive.
It's huge, yeah.
But
Yoko Ono is in there.
Yoko Ono was in it.
Wes Anderson, Isle of Dogs trailer has
Yes.
been released.
Stop motion,
Yes.
Isle Dogs.
Tim,
Yes.
knowing that you love Wes Anderson, but also
Specifically,
more so
yes.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Top 10 of all time.
What do you think of Isle of Dogs? Can this crack your top 10 like that? Or what do you think?
I think it could.
Oh, shit.
I love this trailer.
Of course you do.
I was giggling throughout the whole thing, really.
Got the giggles.
Voice work sounds great from everyone. I heard a little George Clooney in there, I think.
You want to do the cast list?
A little Ed Norton, a little Bryan Cranston.
I think Ed Norton's leading the
He
crew.
plays Duke, I think.
ScarJo,
Yeah.
Edward Norton,
Oh,
Bill Murray, Tilda Swinton,
Oh.
Bryan Cranston,
Oh.
Jeff Goldblum, Yoko Ono,
Yeah.
Liev Schreiber, Greta Gerwig, Harvey Keitel, Francis McDormand, Bob Balaban,
Balaban.
and then kind
F.
of
Murray Abraham.
Courtney B. Vance.
Bablaban.
There was no George Clooney.
Yeah,
Who did
no
I
George
hear?
Clooney.
Bryan Cranston, probably.
Probably Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, I think it looks great.
Potential for 5 bang, I believe.
I think so, yeah. The score is great. I love the drums going on towards the end there. And just like a unique story that I think is going to be quite good.
I'm not sure what the story is, but I mean, he's just
Japan
trying
is
to get...
overrun with dogs, and they ship a whole bunch to this ex-trash island to become a dog place. And this kid's
kid's
dog
trying to
probably
find a
gets
dog, yeah.
gets taken, and he's like, I'm going to go find my dog. I think I'm going to be bawling my eyes out. I'm calling it. The guy's dog's probably dead.
Wow.
Wes Anderson
Fucking
goes dark
savage.
in the last
Okay.
like 20 minutes of his movies quite often.
It can go
Okay.
quite dark.
So I'm pumped.
Yeah, I love Wes Anderson's movies, and I just love that they're always so original, and while they are always very original, they're always within his wheelhouse.
Yeah, they're
Which
very
he
Wes Anderson.
excels at.
Yes.
You know, some people you want to go out and do different things.
Oh, it's another this director's movie, you know, but this is like Wes Anderson again.
Like,
Yes.
I want more of the same.
Yeah.
It's like when your favorite musical artist comes out with their like, you know, their second album or something. It's like the best album they've ever done,
Mhm.
and then you just want them to keep doing that.
Yeah.
But then, as an artist, they want to change and
Yeah.
do different things. You know, it's like if your favorite artist just came out with the same type of your favorite music every time.
Yeah.
But
And-
tweaked it just enough.
but-
It's not
But
It's enough that
but
it's
still
new
make
and
it fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I don't think you can. Not one of his movies are similar in plot, even remotely. I don't think they're all very unique plots. You gotta give that to him.
There's a lot of coming of age stuff.
But even then, it's just like they're handled so differently. Or it's,
Right.
Even coming of age, he has one movie about a kid. I guess Rushmore and Moonrise Kingdom, but one's like about a 12-year-old. One's like the kid's like 18.
It's quite varied.
Yeah,
It's quite
it's
varied.
bizarre.
Varied, yeah. But this trailer, I'm in.
Yeah.
I mean,
You love Japanese culture to begin with.
Yeah, that's a minor thing here, but it's more so I just love Wes Anderson
Yeah.
movies. So
Plus-
I'm totally in.
The stop motion, I think, is just you got to have a lot of care and patience to do a stop motion movie, and I think he does it right. Fantastic Mr. Fox is fantastic.
I can't wait. Ty, what do you think of this?
Having only seen a select few of Wes Anderson's movies, this looks pretty good.
Hmm.
I mean,
Did you 5 bang Grand
Five
Budapest?
Bang
I did Five Bang Grand Budapest. That was the first Wes Anderson movie I saw, and I five banged it.
There you go.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I have a few now.
Yeah.
If you ever wanted to borrow
Okay.
some of them.
I would. Once I finish the one you gave me last week, I'll grab those.
Yes.
I love. There was one scene in this. Like I'll agree with everything you guys have said. Like I love that he's doing what he does, but doesn't try to go out of that to change like anything. Like he does what he does well, but he keeps it new to what he does. He does really well with that. But there's one scene in this that I just thought was so funny. Is when like the kid's just screaming in Japanese and the dogs are just speaking English. Like I wish someone spoke his language, and it was so like backwards, but it was just so funny.
Yeah.
I can't wait for just to keep seeing stuff like that. Like I think we're gonna have a lot of that in this movie.
Yeah.
Just
So,
his humor.
yeah. I'm so I get the cast. Like the cast list is great.
So big.
Yeah.
He always gets the best ensemble.
I just see either the Wilsons in there, so not surprised by that.
Weird.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
Bizarre. I guess they couldn't fit Wes Anderson into their schedule.
Yeah.
They're busy guys.
First time in like 2 decades.
Yeah. So busy with all the things that the Wilson Bros are doing. I'm in.
All right, well, let's move on. We got one more trailer to discuss, and it's another Stephen King adaptation.
Oh, another one.
Another one. 1922. It's an adaptation of a novella that he wrote. This is starring Thomas Jane, and
That was Thomas Jane.
I'm blanking on the actress's name. She's been in a lot of things.
Sarah Parker. No, that's not right. Mary Parker. Something like that. She's in Deadwood. She's in Dexter. She's in a whole bunch of stuff.
Anyways, it's sort of a creepy horror thriller-ish movie.
Yep.
It's not spoiler to say that Thomas Jane, the farmer, murders his wife
Mm-hmm.
in 1922. I think this looks like a decent little horror thriller.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell it seems very literary. I don't know. I just can tell that it's a book or like a little a short novel.
Yeah.
And it has potential to be a little creepy movie. I like Thomas Jane's performance as well. At least what I've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little different than a lot of things that he's done. But
He looks creepy. Like,
He does.
He looks weird. in
Molly
this.
Parker. Also
Molly
close.
Parker. That's pretty close.
Ooh.
I don't know what else we got in here.
Ooh.
Neil McDonough. Love him.
But yeah, I'm optimistic. I think it could be a decent. It doesn't look like next level amazing, but it looks like a decent little horror thriller. What do you guys think, Tim?
This looks like an above average horror thriller. I think it's shot pretty well, from what I can tell. Thomas Jane looks great.
I think he's the
Yeah,
star
he looks
here.
very, very good in this, actually.
Yeah.
I was just shocked when I saw him. I was like, Thomas Jane
He kind of
acting
changed his
really well.
face. Like, he just looked... I
Yeah,
don't
he
know.
looks mean, and he's got his twang. His voice is excellent, I
Yeah.
think. I'm impressed. Plus, he does Stephen King movies well. The
It's
Mist.
like his third movie. I think he
Thomas Jane does?
another.
He was in The Mist,
Did not know that.
and he was in something else as well. Blanking. What do you think?
What do you think, Ty?
I'm glad that they're not taking this and trying to do like a giant, big blockbuster movie with it.
Yeah, it looks very low key.
Yeah, because I feel like it would fail hard if they did like big blockbuster with it.
I think I read it was like 115 pages or something.
It's a novella, so it's
Yeah, short book. Like I'm
Short and sweet.
I'm glad they're doing Netflix with this because like it's just smaller,
Right.
contained, a little more intimate. That I feel like that's going to do really well for them. Creeps me out.
Of course.
I don't like that.
You are creeped out easily.
I am, especially with dead things and then rats. I don't like any of that. A lot of rats in this. But they're going to play a big part. I'm in because I feel like we're probably going to have to review it. So
It's a Netflix
Maybe.
release, so it's easy
Might
to
not be.
slip in there.
so I feel like I'm going to have to see it anyway. So
It does seem like one of those movies that's going to kind of come and go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
be bypassed by other bigger movies.
yeah, but it does look scary. Like it looks like well, not scary, but it looks like it's going to be like
Decent.
yeah, it's
Looks
gonna be a
decent to me.
decent thriller. Yeah.
All right, well, I think that'll do it for this episode 114 of the Upper Late Podcast. Tim, where can people find us?
People can find us on Twitter at Upper Relate. You can find all of our episodes on YouTube at Upper Relate. And you can find me personally on Instagram at The Craft Pundit, as well as on Letterboxd at Upper Real Tim.
That was all out of order and that messed me up.
Sorry.
Yeah. You can find us on Facebook and on Instagram at Up Real Late Podcast. You can also find me on Letterboxd at Up Real Ty.
Find myself, Scott, on Letterboxd at UprealScott. And yeah, guys, like I said earlier, if you did like this video, leave a like on it. Leave a comment below in the comment section. And, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel. As always, keep it real.